Give you the Wait a minute. Let's move it right here. Well, right there. Move it more in the circle.
So how do you feel 5 years later? What do you feel like knowing that this war, that this destruction is still going on in our name? I know! We've got to end it, and that's why we came out today. Because we know that the elections in November aren't going to do any more than the elections in November of 2006 did. What did that do to get us out of the war?
Nothing.
Nothing. The hell is Congress good for if they won't end this war for us? That's what they told us, isn't it? That they were going to end it if we put them in office. And they lied to us. And we've been lied to a lot over the course of the last 5 years. And this whole war has been built on lies.
No more lies!
No more lies!
No more lies! No more lies!
And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to visit some of the local institutions who have continued to prop up this war based on lies. We ask you to come with us and to challenge those institutions and to continue challenging them every day in your daily lives as we leave here, because that's what it's about. This is not going to end with a magic vote in November. This is not going to end with a one-day protest. This is about consistent, persistent, being on the streets, doing what we can in our everyday lives to make it stop, because we know what the price is. We know the price is 4,000 U.S. soldiers dead. We know it's 1 million Iraqi civilians dead. We know what their country must look like. That they don't have the luxury of gathering and a group of people peacefully and marching out, and that their biggest concern is not the weather. Their biggest concern is not getting rained on. When they march out into their streets, they face much worse. And that's why we come out. We come out in solidarity, for we know what they're suffering at the hands of our government. And we stand together today to call for an end, an immediate, complete, unconditional withdrawal of U.S. troops. That's what we want. And we thank you for standing with us and standing strong for 5 years to end this war. We know it's hard and we know it's frustrating, but this is what we do. Yeah. So thank you for coming out. We are going to do a little street theater for you as we march from place to place to illustrate what we think is going on. We invite you to participate, to engage with that, to be loud, to let the public know what's going on and why you came out today. And we invite you to continue participating with us. We have an amazing speaker coming Monday night. This Monday night at 7 p.m. at University Methodist. You may have seen the flyers already. Dar Jamal, independent reporter who spent years reporting from Iraq, who continues to maintain connections with people in Jordan and Iraq and around the Middle East, is going to come and talk about what he saw and what he experienced. Please come out for that. As well, there are other protests happening. We heard yesterday there was Binghamton, today protests in Utica, and up on campus at the SU campus right after our event at 2 p.m. on the quad. Students will be out protesting this war as well. So take heart, we're not alone. There are people who stand with us, and thank you for coming out.
They were convinced that the Bush administration was virtually unique in the manner in which it related to the world, that no previous American government had ever exhibited such hubris, deceit, and secrecy, such murderous destruction and violation of international law and disregard for world opinion. They were mistaken. All this wickedness has been exhibited before. In the early 19th century, there was the annihilation of natives. There was acquisition, expansion, the development of a society made safe for the freest of enterprise, the movement towards an unassailable belief in American exceptionalism, in a people providentially exempted from the dark side of human nature. In 1823, the Monroe Doctrine proclaimed that the American continents are henceforth not to be considered as subjects for future colonization by any European powers. We should consider any attempt on their part to extend their system to any portion of this hemisphere as dangerous to our peace and safety, end quote. Add a word about terrorists, and they could have been penned by Condoleezza Rice. In 1846, the U.S. incorporated fully half of Mexico into the new Yankee land in a war that excited both Congress, having approved it overwhelmingly with minimal discussion, and the American people, who rallied and rushed to volunteer for such a splendid expedition. Sound familiar? By the start of the 20th century, when grandiose North American growth opportunities were thinning and new markets were needed, Washington heeded the siren's call to become a player in the global scene. Using the pretext that Spain was responsible for blowing up the USS Maine, it went to war and replaced the Spanish as the colonial power in the Philippines, Guam, Puerto Rico, and devised a special status for Cuba. More of the same, and the rest of the century was no different. From Truman's atom bomb and manipulation of the UN that spawned the Korean War, to Eisenhower's overthrow of democratically elected governments in Iran, Guatemala, and the Congo, and his unprincipled policies which led to the disaster known as Vietnam. From Kennedy's attempts to strangle the Cuban Revolution and his abandonment of democracy in the Dominican Republic, to Ford's giving of the okay to Indonesia's genocide against East Timor and his support of the instigation of the horrific Angolan Civil War. And then there was Clinton's war crimes in Yugoslavia and the vicious assaults upon the people of Somalia. And then, at the start of the 21st century, came more war and terror, and the United States invaded and occupied Iraq, a country that posed no real threat, but sat on pools of oil. This is not simply the story of the last 5 years, it is the story of the last 225. It is the story of lies upon lies. It is the story of congressional malfeasance. It is the story of profiting from war and misery. It is the story of rampant militarism. It is the story of business as usual. It is a story that only you can change.
Come on, folks! You don't believe these people, do you? geography. Let us move on.
We forgot the public needed to get press time here.
Let's hear from the public.
Congress has voted to spend $5 billion for war tax cuts for the filthy rich, but refuses to pay for health care for the poor. And then Scooter Libby receives clemency for helping Bush and Cheney lie us into war. Where's the accountability? This is the truth.
Oh, this is wrong. Oh, you foolish people. No.
Stop funding the war.
Trust your leaders. This way. Stop funding the war. Stop.
Here we are, we're in front of the military recruitment center, which is in this building. This is another safe haven for the war octopus. What really goes on here?
Well, I am selling opportunity! I am here to protect us and our way of life from those evil doers!
People, how much time does it take you to learn? You can't stop us. We're going to move on.
We are not moving on until the people have spoken.
The people have spoken? Oh yes, we're moving on.
No, we're not. The
Nowhere. All right. And furthermore,
Shut up. Because of military recruitment, nearly 4,000 U.S. military members have been killed in Iraq, over 20,000 have been wounded, and the government still refuses to provide veterans with proper health care. We are not safer. Yes.
your leaders will lead you in the right direction.
accomplish your goals in a very efficient, wonderful way that benefits us all. So please come with me, join the rest of us. It is just such a delightful thing to be doing. It's really, really important. It helps the economy. It makes everybody do better.
I think the public has something to say. The public has something to say.
Halliburton has made billions off of oil revenues in Iraq while Iraqi people suffer. Blackwater mercenaries kill with impunity, and this is what we're getting for our money.
No, that's crazy.
Not making war profitable.
I can't let them stop this war. We have to continue for our domination. There's one other institution that can help me. The media. The corporate media. I'll head for the paper. They will help me.
And here we are. These are the final tentacles of the war octopus. The last safe haven for the war octopus, the corporate media.
I don't know what all this excitement about is. I'm of the press. We are embedded with our troops. We hear the truth every day. Our job is to send you the truth as we've been told it.
Yeah,
Why are
right.
you complaining? We are a free press. What is the matter with you?
Do you think you can stop us? You can't stop us! The public again, I bet.
If the corporate media had really reported the facts, like doubts about Iraq having WMDs, and had been more concerned about the truth than seeming patriotic, this war could have been avoided.
This war can't be avoided! We're moving on! What do you mean?
Stop it!
Stop it?
Now time
That's
for
the
the
best
public
we can
to
say.
knock down the war octopus!
No!
Jess, where are you? Jess? We have some closing comments from Jess. The war octopus is dead.
Yeah!
Okay, please don't go anywhere. Okay.
There she is.
Sorry, I've developed an interesting habit of reading license plates today. Got a little distracted across the street. Thank you all for coming out and supporting our action. If people want to grab their signs and at Clinton Square, we'd be happy to collect them. You're also free to hang out in the square there for a little while and stand by the traffic going by. But, the most important thing is not what you do today, but what you do tomorrow and the day after and the week after and the month after. And every time you hear somebody say, well, let's get out there and do some petitioning and get a new Democrat elected to office, or let's see what happens in November, remind them what happened last time in November, the time before that. How many elections have we had since this war started? Too many. And how many of those politicians have stood up in Congress and voted against the funding? The Democrats tell us over and over they can't get a bill passed because Bush will veto it. But why do his bills, why do the Republican bills continue to pass? Why are they making it through the Congress? Why don't they filibuster those bills? Cowards. That's an interesting word to use. Cowards. Maybe that should have been on our sign for Congress at the Federal Building. And every time you hear people say, well, I heard in the media today.
Yeah.
Lies. How many peace activists do you see interviewed in the media when side by side with the government lies that we've had to read for the last 5 years?
None!
How many column inches do we get to compare with General Petraeus' statements over and over about what good progress this surge is making? Who was right when this war started and we said we wouldn't be out of there in months, we would be in there for years in an unending quagmire? We were right.
Print anything about Winter Soldier?
No! And so why do we continue? Why do we continue to ask the same people to lie to us over and over and over again? From the military recruiters to our Congress people to our corporate media to our war profiteers, what do? They lie to us over and over and over again. And let's not ask them to lie lie to us anymore. Let's talk to each other instead. Let's be our own media. Let's be our own representatives. Let's take it into our own hands. Let's go and talk to our own young people so they don't have to get their information from military recruiters. Get involved with the Peace Council and the AFSC's Military Alternatives Education Program and talk to our young people. Come out to Dar Jamal on Monday night and hear what an unembedded reporter sounds like. Hear what the difference is. Go up to campus at 2 p.m. and support those students who are going to come out and demonstrate on their quad. Come out and hear Jeremy Scahill, author on Blackwater, talk about what kind of corporate military we have going on profiteering from Iraq. He'll be at Lemoyne College on April 1st. Check him out. We have access to all the information we need. We don't need the corporate media to tell us what's happening. We know what we need to do is take action, and we invite you to stay involved with the Peace Council and to continue to take action to end this war. Thank you.
war! We don't want your racist war! We don't.
Every kid has a name, every grandpa has a name. They are not just brown people on the other side of the earth. They feel just like we feel when somebody is hurt or scared. Think for a moment, can we share our love of peace, our love of connectedness, and think about these people who are lying dead in the street. This is make-believe. In Iraq, it's not make-believe. In Iraq, it is boring and real, and boring and real. And the nightmare doesn't stop. And the surge has made it better, right? So we're now living with the horror of the 2005 levels of violence, and aren't we glad that we've retreated from the 2007 levels of violence? This is bullshit. When you're dead, and everybody around you mourns the same. So let us spend a moment and think about these people lying in the street who are our pretend symbols, who will get up and go home and get dry and take a shower and be with their loved ones. Think for a moment what it must be like, and I'm going to repeat myself, that every single person that you see is grieving. Every single person that you see is grieving. It's amazing that the tears don't cause floods in Iraq. What we are doing here today is very simple. We are taking a little time out of our regular lives because our government has decided that if everybody paid attention to the war, we would get fed up so quickly that it would just have to end. We don't see any coffins. We don't see the numbers. We don't see the blind and the maimed. And the ones who commit suicide, the soldiers who commit suicide because the pain is overwhelming, we sure as hell don't see them either. So these people lying on the ground will symbolize everyone else who we don't see and that our government won't let us see. We have to be energized from today. We have to say, what can I do? Can I have another conversation with a coworker, with a friend? Put the signs up on the lawn or in the window. Don't let it be business as usual that every single day the only good that's happening is that some people are making money.